Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Chef's Know It All. Episode 12, Season 1 finale, right here, man. We reached a major milestone right now. This is the season finale, and y'all gonna ride with us today on this journey. Anyway, so what we gonna be making today is we're gonna be doing a crusted cod sandwich with roasted sweet potato, fries, chips, whatever you want to call them. That's what we're gonna be doing today. So first thing we're gonna do in this whole thing is we're gonna get our potatoes in because that's definitely gonna take the longest. So we already got our sweet potatoes cut up. We cut them in these little circles. You know what I mean? Just little. You can cut them in circles. You can cut them in straight fries. You can cut them in, how you cut them in little triangles or whatever when you're just doing boiled sweet potatoes. But we just chose to do it like this because we're doing kind of like that fry style type of thing. So what we got right here is we got some melted butter that we did. We got a little nutmeg we're going to add in there. Add the nutmeg in the butter. Then we're going to add some cinnamon sugar into the butter. Now, one thing I know I'm going to have to start doing. Mama Leonard was talking to me yesterday, and she was saying, I got to start really telling people the measurements, like, oh, it's this many shakes or it's this much ounces. Because I know I said in previous episodes, I don't measure. I just kind of feel it. But for y'all who are, who don't cook and don't know like how to feel it or whatever, we'll just be, I'm going to do better in season 2 to, give more detail on, this amount, that amount, X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? So, but again, like I said, we're going to finish this season off the way we've been doing it, and then we'll get right in season 2 for y'all. So again, we got our butter. We used about half a stick of butter. So matter of fact, let's start now. We used about half a stick of butter. We use I'd say about a half a teaspoon of that nutmeg, and then about the same of that cinnamon sugar. But we're also going to add more on top. It's not just going to be what we put in this bowl right here. So we got our bowl. We're going to pour that butter right over our sweet potatoes. And we're going to give that a nice little mix here in our pan. Matter of fact, let's get our grill together. 400 degrees. This probably going to take a good 20, 30 minutes for these to roast down. So we're just going to give them a good toss up. And then what we're going to do is like I said, we're going to take a little bit more of our nutmeg and we're going to sprinkle it on. We really just want to get it to where it's coating, a nice even coating, so every piece of sweet potato gets some of the nutmeg and every sweet potato gets some of the cinnamon sugar. So that's really what we're looking for as far as how much to put on here. And these are sweet potatoes, so you want to have them a little sweet. I do want them to be a little sweet, but the nutmeg is going to kind of counteract that sweetness of the cinnamon sugar to kind of, give it that perfect balance. And then, of course, butter just make everything better. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's how we're going to do that. So, aside from that, y'all probably wondering why I chose to do this last episode without a guest by myself. And I really just kind of want to reflect on the first 11 episodes that we did. I want y'all to, comment on here. Let me know some feedback on what y'all think of what we got going on here. How do y'all like the first 11 shows? How do y'all like how we did this first season? What opinions do y'all, or ideas do y'all have for us going into the second season? Because we have ideas, but we're always open to new ideas and, anything that people can suggest for us to do better or do differently or just do new something we ain't did, or even if it's a certain type of dish or a certain type of cuisine, you know, I want to get some feedback from y'all to see, you know, what we should do. We got our sweet potatoes nice and coated. Y'all see them? They nice, seasoned up, coated up. We're gonna throw them in our oven right here. And we're gonna just let them roast, like I said, about a good 30 minutes or so. We're gonna let them just kind of roast up and get right. All right. And from there, we're gonna move on to, I think we can move on to the slaw next. I think we can do the slaw next. And then we can do our fish last, because we want our slaw to kind of marinate in the juices and the ingredients that we got going on. So we got our mango slaw that we're gonna work on. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna peel our mango. You can use a knife, you can use a peeler. We're just gonna peel it off, and then we're gonna slice it down for to go into our bowl right here. You know what I mean?
Why are you doing that? Why'd you pick this dish for this last episode?
Honestly, I was trying to do something simple, and you know, the last few days I've been craving a good sandwich. Like I wanted a chicken sandwich, but I don't know. I just been craving like a good sandwich, and I ain't been able to get one. And I didn't feel like making it, honestly, at the other day. I went to Chick-fil-A yesterday and I got one. It was all right, but you know, I'm like, man, I want something that's just like spectacular. So I looked up this recipe just for like sandwich ideas, and this one came up. Well, this sandwich didn't come up, but I just kind of put it together because I saw the slaw. I already make a slaw kind of like this. I just don't put mangoes in it. So I was like, man, let me try that mango slaw and, you know, put my little twist on it and see how that come out. And then, of course, who doesn't love a fish sandwich? You know what I mean? Even though I know we did cod already for the chowder episode, but, you know, I wanted to bring it back for this specific sandwich, you know? So, yeah. So what we're doing is we're just kind of, I guess you can call this a julienne cut. I mean, it's not really a julienne cut. I'm just cutting them kind of thin, and we're gonna mix them in the bowl with the rest of our ingredients here. So we're just slicing off. If you know, mangoes have that big seed in the middle, so it's not too much that you can slice off. And we just thinly slicing this right here. And we're just gonna throw that in the bowl, break them pieces apart. Now, one thing I can tell you from this fish sandwich, this probably the most different fish sandwich that you ever ate. You know, this is gonna be real different from any other kind of fish sandwich that I've seen. You know, I'm sure somebody's done something like this, but this one gonna be different. You know what I mean? So next thing, we got some little red bell peppers here. I like the smaller peppers versus the bigger peppers, because the smaller ones are a little sweeter. You know, when you cook them, they get a little sweet coming out, and when they just raw, they get a little sweet. So I like to use the little small ones. These ain't hot. These are just small bell peppers, small red bell peppers. So we're going to thinly slice these as well. So we're going to cut the top off there, slice it down the middle, and then I just want to we're going to take it long ways, and we're just going to, now this will be considered a julienne cut, because we're just cutting them real thin. You know, that's what julienne cut means. It just means cut thin. I believe it's French or something, I guess. So yeah, so that's what we're doing with these. Like I said, this all going in the slaw. So these peppers are gonna add just that little crunch, you know, that little fresh crunch that we all kind of look for in a slaw. Of course, our cabbage is gonna add that as well, but the peppers are gonna add that, because the cabbage is gonna wilt once we put the liquid in after it sits for a while. The cabbage is gonna start to wilt, So that's why we bringing in this fresh element right here. And we gonna, let that kind of be our crunch element that we have. So we gonna julienne these down. And add these in with our mangoes. How you feel about this, bro? How you feel about what we've been doing? I know you are venturing further into your photography, videography bag. So how you feel so far about, episode 1 through 12 now?
I think they're cool. We got equipment, probably almost new equipment every episode. So we got a little better.
For sure.
Each episode, trying different angles, stuff like that.
Yep.
But I think overall it was a good season for sure.
Yeah.
Seen some good feedback. And it just got better.
So next thing, we got our purple cabbage here. We're gonna chop the head off of that one, the top off, and we just gonna thinly slice that, like very, very thinly. Now, if you have a mandolin, you can use a mandolin, but sometimes I just like to just, use my knife skills and just cut very thin slices to go in here. And you want to make them thin, so it's okay if if you miss a little bit, you know how you miss and you only cut a part of it, but you just want them as thin as you can get them. As thin as slices as you can get them. And it's okay if a couple of them are a little chunky. Everybody don't have perfect knife skills, and you want to take your time, go slow. You ain't got to try to go fast like I'm trying to do. So, cut them thin like that. Like I said, thin little strips. Y'all see, kind of break it up a little bit. It's going to break up once we put it in the bowl with everything else, but just kind of break it up a little bit. And mix that on in there. We don't need a whole lot because we're only making like 3 sandwiches, so yeah. So yeah, get that, mix that up real good. Kind of pull it apart if you can. Give it a nice little toss. Y'all see them colors that we got going on in there, the yellow, the red, the purple. We got a little bit of that. And then something else we're going to add is we have some mint leaves that we're going to add. Some fresh mint. We're going to... Minty fresh. So we're going to take some of that, just a few sprigs of that right there, a couple of them. We can pull those leaves off because we do not want the stems in here. So we're going to pull those leaves off the stem. And smell like peppermint. Smell good. And for those that don't know, some of y'all might not know, and I got this tip from a friend of mine. Mint actually helps keep roaches out of your house. Roaches hate the smell of mint. So what you can do is you can get some peppermint oil, or you can get some mint leaves, and you could boil them in water and make it like a spray. Don't like super boil it, just like lightly boil it in water, and make like a spray. Or you can use like an oil. I think some people use like an olive oil or something like that. And you can spray it around your house and your air vents and the corners and stuff, and it'll actually keep roaches away, because I found out that roaches do not like, fresh, minty, clean smells, so you can, that's a little hack right there, get you some mint leaves or some mint oil, spray it around your house, keep the roaches out there, because we all done experienced them roaches. We know how them big water roaches be on your wall somewhere, and that thing take off flying. You be scared, but be like, oh no, get that up out of here. So we're gonna give this a little rough chop. You know, it ain't got to be super diced up because we do want it to show, and that's gonna be our fresh element that we are adding into here. So, and we don't need a whole lot because we don't want it to taste minty. You know what I mean? So, y'all see our color wave we got going on. We got a little bit of green, purple, red, yellow from the mangoes. And from there, we're just gonna start. We're gonna start adding in our liquids that we're gonna use to basically turn it into a slaw. You know, bind it together. I don't know the proper word. My brain is not saying the word that I want to use, but y'all know what I mean. We're gonna add the liquid in so it can pickle. That's what it is. Pickle. You know, all that type of stuff. So, first thing we're gonna add in is we have a little red wine vinegar. So we're gonna take, I would say about a tablespoon. So that's about a tablespoon, maybe a little more than a tablespoon, but again, I don't measure it. I'm just letting y'all know about a tablespoon. We have some sake wine. This is like a Japanese wine. So this is kind of going to be on the Asian side a little bit. Y'all know I like Asian cuisine, stuff like that. So that's why we're doing it. That's why I always do something with Asian or African. That's just what I like. So we're going to take about, I'd say about a third of a cup of the rice wine. That's about a third of a cup right there. Put that in there. We got some lemon juice. You can use fresh lemons, of course. I just like to get lemon juice sometimes, you know. Sometimes I use fresh, sometimes I use bottle. It matters, but it doesn't matter. It's lemon juice. Okay. So with that, we're gonna use a few squeezes, or if you're using fresh lemons, use one whole lemon or one whole lime and juice the whole thing. So if we're doing this, we're just gonna do about a few shakes. That was probably about 10 shakes. And if I was gonna measure that into ounces, that's probably into a measurement. I probably like a teaspoon or a tablespoon of lemon juice because we don't want it too lemony, but we want the lemon in there. All right, we got some toasted sesame oil. We're gonna add that in, and you know, sesame oil go in drops, so you want to just give it like about, I'd say about 6 or 7 shakes, maybe 8. You know what I mean? Because it comes out in drips. It comes out. It has a little, you know, a little stopper on it, so it doesn't just pour out. You can take it off and pour it in there. So, but just a few shakes because sesame oil is very strong, so you don't need a lot of sesame oil. So a few shakes. See, I'm already smelling sesame oil, so we good with that, you know. Then we got the W sauce, of course. With this, I say about the same thing. A few shakes or about a teaspoon. I'll say that, a teaspoon. So we can take the top off of that. A little teaspoon of that, boom. Because we don't want it too smoky. You know what I mean? We do not want it too smoky. We just want it to be, you know, very nice and light. We got our nature seasoning right here. We're going to add some of that in there. You know, get that a nice sprinkle. And then we're going to give that just a good old mix up. Give a good old mix up of that in our liquids. Oh, wait, I forgot one thing. The honey. And we can do about 2 teaspoons of honey. So that's 1. That's 2. Because we don't want it to be too sweet because we already got the sweetness of our mangoes in here. And, you know, we don't want it to be overly sweet. So we got a good balance of sweet, smoky, sour. It's all in here together. And then a little bit of bitterness from the cabbage. And we also got our sweet peppers in here, so they add a little more sweetness. And we're just going to, and then the bitterness of the red wine vinegar, and then the citrus or the acid in the rice wine. So yeah, this is probably going to be pretty good. We're going to see how this turn out. You want to add a little more nature seasoning. As far as the seasoning, you want to season the taste. You might want yours a little more saltier. I don't really like it super salty because I want it to be more on the fresher side versus just like a pound of salt in there. So with the salt and pepper or the nature seasoning or whatever you use, I would say season the taste, and then you can adjust that part on your own. All right, so we got that nice and mixed up. Let's give that a taste and see what that tastes like. A little bit of everything, and I know, he's eating it with his hands. My hands are clean. Okay. That's different, but I can get with that. And I want to add some spice to it. And if y'all remember in the last episode we had this avocado chili oil with chili flakes in it. So I want to add a little bit of this in there just to give it somewhat of a kick. And give it a good shake up so we can get some of those flakes in there. And then we'll add like a nice tablespoon of that just to give it some spice. Because it's already sweet. The sweetness is coming out a lot more. So we're going to give it a little bit more liquid smoke as well. A little more W sauce, which is liquid smoke. But yeah. So we're going to give it a little bit more of that. Say about another tablespoon. We'll just say 2 more tablespoons. Let's do that. 2 more tablespoons. Oh, come on, get on there. I'm gonna add a little bit more nature seasoning because it's not salty at all. So, and nature seasoning is not super salty, so that's why we can add a generous amount of it, and it's not gonna like overpower it or mess it up because it's more than just salt in there. It's not a lot of salt in there at all. So we're just gonna mix that up. Mix that back up. Boom, boom. We should be good on that right now. For right now, let that just kind of marinate in that sauce. And we're going to take that and just put that in the fridge while we finish everything else. Set that there. All right. And next, we can work on the burger sauce or the sandwich spread that we're going to make, which is my personal. It was originally a burger sauce, but it can literally be used on any kind of sandwich. So we're going to put that together for y'all real quick. So what we got here, we got a little Dijon mustard, we got a little mayo, lemon juice, W sauce, and a little honey. And we're going to use some of our seasoning right here. If you haven't seen this already, man, we got our seasoning that we've been talking about putting up for sale. A few episodes back, my boy Marcus, he was asking like when it's going to be for sale and stuff like that. It's not fully for sale right now, but we have a Chef's Know It All menu that we'll have pop up somewhere on the screen. We have a Chef's Know It All menu that we do every week. It's changing, and we do all the meals from the show are going to be on that menu. So we'll have two items per week on the menu for y'all to be able to purchase. And with every plate, you get a bottle of our EdibleDope Seasoning right here. It doesn't have a label right now because, you got to get your trademarks, you got to get your copyrights, all that stuff. So I already got the logo made and all that stuff, but I got to get my business right before we can, put this up for sale because I don't want nobody taking my stuff. You know what I'm saying? So order a plate from our Chef's Know It All menu. Get you some of our seasoning right here. It's not called Chef's Know It All seasoning, but it's our EdibleDope seasoning. You know what I mean? All-purpose meat seasoning. It goes on any kind of meat, chicken, steak, fish, pork, whatever. You can put it in your eggs, and you can also put it in your sauces as well, like we're about to do. So we're gonna crack one of these open. Y'all see it is sealed. It has the seal on it. So that's how you know it's official. Don't peel that joke off. You know what I mean? Y'all seen it. It peeled off. It wasn't open. You know what I'm saying? It's a fresh bottle. You know what I mean? That thing smell good right there. So yeah, so we got our seasoning ready. I mean, we got our sauce that we're about to make. So we got our Dijon mustard. Dijon mustard, probably my favorite kind of mustard. You can use honey mustard if you want, because we are going to put honey in it. But I like to control the amount of honey that I put in the mustard, in the sauce, you know. So, like I said, we got a Dijon mustard. We are going to do, we'll say 3 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Put that in there. We can do, let me wash this off real quick. All right. We're going to do 3 tablespoons of mayo. Probably a little more than 3 tablespoons, but we're going to say 3 tablespoons. But this spoon is a little bigger than a tablespoon. All right. That's our mayo. We're going to do 2 teaspoons of W sauce. We're going to do, let's say, if you're using whole limes or lemons, we can say a half of a lime or a half of a lemon. Or if you're using this, we can say 1 tablespoon. There we go. Honey, same thing. We're going to do 2 teaspoons. 1, 2. And then we're going to take some of our seasoning mix right here. We're going to throw that in there. For that, you want to have at least about, let me take the top off because we need a lot. Not a lot, but you know, we need a generous portion, more than what's coming out the spout. We can do about a tablespoon and a half of our seasoning right here. And when the label comes, you will be able to see what's all in it. I could tell y'all what's all in it. Should I tell them what's in it right here? Or? Nah. I can tell y'all what's in it. Come get some and I'll tell you what's in it. Buy a plate, get you some, and then I'll tell you what's in it. You know what I mean? But when we get the label, it will have, you know, whatever ingredients are in there. That way we can make sure you're not like eating something you're allergic to. But most of the ingredients in there, nobody's allergic to. You know, except maybe like garlic powder or whatever. Somebody might be allergic to garlic, but you know, whatever. So we're gonna take that, we're gonna mix that up real good. You can use a spoon, use a whisk, use a fork. I'm just choosing to use a spoon because, you know, that's just what we do. Give that just a good little mix up. Mix it up real good, real good. This is just Dijon mustard, mayo, honey, lemon juice, seasoning. That's it. Yeah. So we got that right there. That's our burger sauce right there. Y'all see that? Consistency. We're going to set that in the refrigerator too because I want that to stay cool as well. I like my sauce cold. Is that weird? I don't know. I don't care either. Anyway, so we got our sauce done. We got our slaw done. We got our potatoes in here. Let's check on those. Let me come around right quick. Check on our taters. They smelling good. They smelling real good. Let's get a close up on those right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Close up over here on those. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You see it. All right. They're not done yet though. They still a little rubbery, so we gotta let them finish cooking. Add a little more time to that. We got about another 15 minutes or so on those. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start working on our fish. So let me clean my cutting boards off real quick and we're gonna get started on that. Now we got our cod here. We unwrapping our cod. We about to cut it down into fillets for us for it to be ready for our sandwich. So, brother, do you have a favorite episode of season 1? Even if it's one that, well, I ain't gonna say that they ain't seen yet, because by the time this air, they've been seeing all of them. So. But do you have an episode that you have enjoyed the most doing, or maybe a dish, or one of our mindful dope episode scenes? Not episode, but scenes.
I think I gotta say the cabin.
The cabin episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why you say that? Just because it was our people, or what?
Yeah,
what makes that
like
one?
It was a different setup,
Mm-hmm.
but like it just flowed well. Not that any of it hasn't flown well, but I just like how it just flowed.
Right.
You know,
That's
and
a
I
fact.
was like really winging it, and it ended up working.
That's true. That's probably, I think that I want to say that's one of our most viewed videos that we got out right now. And people are messing with that one the most.
But since that's a special episode, if I had to choose from the 1 through 12, I think I choose. I'm like stuck between the risotto episode and the hash brown episode. Those are tied for first for me.
Right. Okay. So before I ask him my responding question, because I already cut up the fish, so we just cut our cod into fillets like that, and they're gonna go on we're gonna crush them, and then they're gonna go on top of our. They're gonna go, on our sandwich. It's gonna be our meat, so we're gonna crush them. So we're gonna take one of these little bowls right here, and we're gonna mix in. We got us some panko breadcrumbs. We're gonna mix those in, and then we got us a little bit of cornmeal. We're gonna mix that in as well with those breadcrumbs, and then from there, we're just gonna season our fish down. Of course, we're gonna use that EdibleDope Seasoning. So you say episode 3, the risotto episode, and episode 7, which is about to drop today, the hash brown bowl episode. So what about those 2 episodes make them your favorite? And we're seasoning our fish down, so you give it a good portion of seasoning. Every piece of the fish need to have some seasoning on it, because if you ain't sneezing, you ain't seasoned. And I did not coin that phrase, by the way, so don't nobody try to get me or say I made it up. But yeah, go ahead, brother. What makes those your favorite episodes?
I'll say not only the dish, but the mindful dope at the end. Yeah. Okay. Episode 7, the hash brown bowl.
Right. That's your favorite mindful dope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Find your rhythm.
Find your rhythm. Is that what we talked about in that one?
Yeah.
And today's mindful dope is find your rhythm. Find your rhythm. What I mean by that is what we're doing with this show is I feel like we're really finding our rhythm, our groove with this. What do we talk about on the third one? And sometimes you got to make do with what you got. That's what we're doing with this show right now. We don't have all the pieces. We don't have all the mics and all the this and that and the third and the lights and all that. We're lucky to have this kitchen space, but we don't have everything we need to make it to do what we really want to do. But we're making do with what we have.
But out of the 12 episodes, or even the cabin, or the other special episodes, which one would you say you had the most fun cooking?
Most fun.
Or you most enjoyed making?
Most enjoyed making. That's a great question, bro. It's either the first episode with the guests where we had Charity from Classic Creations on here, or probably that fish episode 2, when we did the blackened catfish pasta. Probably that one.
Okay.
Oh, was that episode 1?
No,
It wasn't
that
episode
was
one?
2.
That was 2? Okay, that was
It should have
episode 2.
been either 2 or 3. But I think that's 2.
Yeah, okay.
The
Episode
first
2.
one was the chicken Milanese.
Right.
Yeah.
See, he know, because he be looking at these videos already. But yeah, that's probably my favorite one, just because what's your name? What's up, man?
Yeah. No, but you're good though.
Yeah, you good. Come on in here. How you doing? She coming to come get something to eat. She trying to come get something, but we ain't ready yet. We ain't done it. Yeah, we're doing a crusted cod sandwich. So we got some breadcrumbs and some cornmeal in here, and we got it seasoned down. We're gonna coat it, and then we're gonna throw it in the pan. Yes, we're videoing now, and we're gonna leave this in because you're right. Yes. Come ask a question. You don't want to come in? You can ask it from there if you want. Oh, badge on. Okay. I got you. But what's your question? What's up? What? Doing like roasted sweet potato fries or chips, whichever one you want to call it. On the cod, it's my seasoning blend that I have. Yeah. So this is, I can't say it on the camera. I can't tell them what's in there yet, but I'll tell you off camera and stuff like that.
So you just season the cod.
Mm-hmm.
And are you putting breadcrumbs or something on it?
Yeah, we got breadcrumbs and cornmeal mix.
Egg batter or no egg?
I don't usually do the egg batter, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of this oil on there, and that's gonna help stick it. This one is a avocado chili oil, so it's gonna give a little bit of a spice, just a little bit of a, you know what I mean. So we're gonna do that in another bowl. So let's grab this bowl, and we're gonna take some of our avocado chili oil, put a little bit in there.
What kind of oil do you fry in? Is it hot?
No, I'm not gonna like deep fry it. It's more just gonna be like seared. So I'm gonna use some butter to sear it in. It's not like real spicy, but it does have a little bit of a kick in it for sure, because it has red pepper flakes in it. So we'll just take this oil, just a little bit at the bottom of that bowl.
You put it on there first before you put the crumbs on there?
Yes.
Or double dip?
Before. Just one dip in there on both sides. Then we'll give it a nice coat with the crumbs. Yeah. That's all we need. We ain't trying to do a thick coat or nothing like that. Just a little bit of crumbs. Yes, we got new pots. We got new stuff. We doing all kinds of stuff. We got new cutting boards. This is new because that wasn't on the first episode. Yeah, we got some new stuff. Every episode, we're getting better. Yeah, we just displaying because we just start doing a menu where we're going to be featuring every dish from all the episodes, and people are able to order from that menu. And with every dish, we're going to with every person who orders, they'll get a sample of the seasoning. So, yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But we just went sandwich today. We felt like going sandwich today. I got you.
I hope I get it hot.
We're going to make sure you get it hot. We got you. All right. Mama in here. She had to come check on us, make sure we wasn't burning down the house. Yeah, man. So I forgot where we were at, what we were talking about, brother. But yeah, we're gonna keep it going. We don't remember what we were talking about, so we're gonna keep it going. So if y'all missed anything from that, I did put the butter in the pan, and like I was telling her, what we're going to use as a coating, because I don't like using the egg stuff, and I didn't bring any eggs anyway because I wasn't planning on using them. But like I said, we're going to dip the fish in our oil just to get a little coating on there. Dip it in our breadcrumbs and cornmeal mixture. And then we're going to fry it in this buttered pan that we have right here. So that pan is nice and hot and ready for us. So we're going to go with our first piece of fish. Like I said, get it in there. Get a nice little coat of oil on there. Get it in our breadcrumbs. Shake it up, shake it up. And again, we don't want a big old thick coat of crust on here. We just want a nice little, nice little coating of crust on there. You know what I mean? Just something nice. We're just going to throw that right in our pan and let that butter cook it. We're going to do the same thing. Oh, there go our potatoes. We can let them sit right there though, because we're not ready for them yet. You can stay hot right there. Let's get our next piece of fish in here. And like I said, we don't need a lot of that oil, just a little bit of oil, just a little bit. Shake it up in that bowl. And don't be afraid to get your hands in there, man. Get your hands dirty. That's what cooking is. Your hands gonna get dirty. That's why we got sinks and soaps and water and stuff to wash them. So yeah, get up in there. Nice little crusted coating right there. Throw that in right next to that one. And we gonna literally let that fish cook in that pan. So we got our last piece here. We might need, oh no, we need, no, we're good, we're good. I thought we needed more oil, but we good. We are good. All right. Get that nice and coated. Back in here. And we're going to throw that in with these two. Make a little room. Move our butter over. Set that right on in there. We're going to let all three of those cook. Right there in that butter. Just wash your hands. All right. Let's drop that in there. Let's get this cutting board cleaned off as well. We are going to use it again. All right. Now, and one thing about cod, I believe I've said this before as well, cod does not take long to cook at all. But we really just want our crust to get nice and crispy. So we're going to let it sit for just a little while. Kind of move that butter around. Move that butter around. Plus we can make sure our cod ain't sticking. So we're good on that. Our potatoes are done, but we're going to leave them in here because we want to keep them hot and warm. They smelling real good. They're looking real good. You don't see them nice roasted. Got that cinnamon nutmeg smell in there. We're just gonna keep those right there, percolating right there. And now we can start getting our bread together. This is from the Rustic Oven. That's the brand name. This is a hearty grain and seeds bread. So it is quite healthy, I might add. You'll see that. Got the seeds in there and stuff. That's some good bread. That's some good bread. I want to find us some not too big pieces because our cod is not that big. So we want to kind of find the smaller pieces, but not too small. We are making 3 sandwiches. Okay. Put that over there. That over there. And what we're going to do is we're going to get our bread knife by Aikido. And we're going to give it, you can cut it straight. You can use any kind of bread. Let me start by saying that. I just chose this bread because I want it to be different. You can cut it diagonally, you can cut it straight, or if you're using regular sliced bread, brioche, wheat bread, white bread, whatever, you can do what you do. But I'm going to give this a diagonal cut because we want this to look very elegant. So we're going to give that a nice diagonal cut. 3 sandwiches. Now we can turn our cod over, starting to brown. Oh yes, that's what we're looking for right there. Because it's kind of giving us that fried fish. Y'all see that? Trying not to miss my fish. Y'all see that? It gives you that fried fish look, but without all the greasiness of a fried fish. So this is actually a very healthy sandwich, you know what I mean? And cod does not take that long to cook, like I said. So we flipped it. We're gonna let it go another minute or 2 on that side, and then it'll be ready to take off. We also have, let's pull out our slaw that has been sitting. Let's get our sauce that has been sitting and chilling in the refrigerator. Go ahead and pull both of those out. And we also have some cheese. We are using a soft goat garlic and herb cheese. So this is goat cheese that has garlic and herb mixed in it. So that should be very delicious right there. And so what we're going to do as well, because we need to toast our bread. And I'm not going to put any butter or anything on this bread. I'm going to just place it. Actually, I'm going to put it in the oven. I was going to put it in this other pan, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it in the oven and let it toast in the oven the old-fashioned way. You know what I mean? So we can take these out because they are already hot. And we have our rack in here, so we can just set our bread in here on the rack. And we'll do 3 at a time for right now. Let that toast. We'll do 3 at a time, and we'll be good. Our fish is about ready to come off. No, actually, we'll just keep it in that pan. We can turn this one off. We'll just keep it in that pan and let it finish cooking right there, but no heat under it. So we're good on that. We can set this pan to the side because we ended up not using it. And so that's pretty much it right now. So our fish is just about done. Like I said, we finished cooking in the pan. We got our toast over here that is getting toasted and preparing, getting ready. Like I said, we're not putting no butter or nothing on it. We're just gonna toast it, let it get a nice good crisp on it, and then we're gonna build the sandwich from there. So I'm gonna do a little cleaning up, and then we're gonna be ready to plate when we come back. So y'all stick with us. We're back, and we are at the plating portion of our show. Now we're about to build this beautiful sandwich that y'all just saw me mix all these ingredients for. So first things first, we got our bread nicely toasted that we cut. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get our good old mustard right here, our sauce. And we're gonna put some of that right down on that bottom piece. Spread it out. You know, and we want to spread to the whole, on the whole bread. You know what I mean? It's a thick piece of bread, it's toasted, so it's not gonna make it soggy. I hate it when the sauce is just in the middle. You know, I want to taste sauce all over my sandwich, you know what I mean? So we're gonna take a little bit of that, and we're gonna come over here to our slaw. We can actually set that down. And let's do the second piece, because we are making 2 plates right here. More on that one right there, spread it around. Like I said, I like mine to touch every piece of that bread. And it's toasted and it's a thick cut, so it's not gonna make it soggy. But if you're using like white bread or wheat bread, or you're just not toasting your bread at all, it's probably gonna get soggy, so toast your bread, people. We're gonna come over here with our slaw. It's got a little bit of sweet, a little bit of spicy. It's different, a little freshness. It's gonna be crazy. So we're gonna take a little bit of that. And I'm just gonna place that right on top of that bottom half of our sandwich. Again, we want it on every part. It's okay if a little bit falls off, you know, it's a sandwich. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take another portion, bring it over here. Make it touch everyone. We'll put a little bit more on this one here. A little bit more on that one. Let's get some more mangoes on this other one over here. That one doesn't have a lot of mangoes. There we go. I want to make sure those mangoes get on there for real. All right. Next, we have our cod right here. And get our tongs. Got a big chunky piece to go on this one. Another big chunky piece to go on that one. We got one last one for our beautiful host of Bloomfield Homes, who let us use this house every single time. Shout out to them. Now next, we got our goat cheese. We're gonna spread that on our top bun. So we're gonna get our knife right here. This is garlic herb goat cheese. Garlic herb goat cheese. Take that, spread it on our sandwich. Now some of y'all might be like, oh, well, cheese on a fish sandwich? I'm a cheese guy, so I like cheese. I can't eat a sandwich or burger without cheese on it. If you do not eat cheese, you do not have to do this part. You can put some more sauce on the top. You ain't got to worry about the cheese and all that stuff. So yeah, like I said, I like every piece to be covered. A little bit more for this other piece. And you can add as much cheese as you want. You can put a thin layer. You can put a thick layer. You can glob it right in the middle if you like that type of thing. But I like to have it spread all over the bread. Like I said, I want every single piece to be covered. So let's spread that across on there like that. Bam. We can set that across there like that. Let that sit. Or we can do it this way. Matter of fact. Do that like that. Bring this one. Do it like that. Then we'll take our sweet potatoes here. And we'll just drape a few on the side, you know. Drape a few on the side. few on this one. Oops. And it's okay. They're potatoes. They're gonna break up once they get soft, so that's fine. You know? And again, this is a sandwich, people. Sandwiches are supposed to be. They can be cool, clean, and nice and elegant. That doesn't look nice and elegant. But sandwiches are supposed to be a little messy. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. Not super messy, but it's supposed to be a little messy. I think that's good. Yeah, that's good. And now we can just clean our plate up a little. Get all that up out of there. And there we have it. Right there, people. We have our crusted cod sandwich, mango salsa, garlic herb goat cheese, sweet potatoes. Oh, wait. One more thing. We got our kosher salt here. And we're just going to do a little sprinkle of that over those potatoes. Just to give it a little nice blend of sweet, salty, nutty from the nutmeg. Bam. And we'll just give it a nice little sprinkle of that cinnamon sugar as well. Bam. And there we have it, people. Our crusted cod sandwich with sweet potatoes, fries, or roasted sweet potato fries or chips, whatever you want to call it. That's how we doing it. Y'all already know what time it is. We about to go sit down so we can get our eat on. All right, y'all. So we are at the end of the episode. As y'all already know, this is the finale of the finale. This is the end of the show, the last mindful dope of this season. And with us reaching this milestone that we reached by actually fulfilling the whole season of this, and me just thinking about where this is going to go and how far we can take this and how many different ways we can take this, my mindful dope would be learn how to give yourself credit. Learn how to be proud of the things that you're doing, not just feel like you're doing it out of obligation, but be proud of the things you're doing. Feel like you're doing it because you want to. This really just kind of comes from this episode, us being able to make it to this episode and knowing that we're going forward with more episodes. And even though it might not be, we might not be in the millions or the 100,000s right now, but we're building. We're working towards it. We got a lot of good feedback so far already off of the episode that we have dropped. And, I feel like what we have coming for the next season is going to be even better and just more detailed, more uniform, more detailed. We're going to keep getting better equipment, getting faster with our time, more dishes, more guests, more experiences, more knowledge, things to learn, and things we can teach y'all. But more than anything, I'm proud of what we're doing. Me, my brother, AB Vision behind the camera. I'm just proud of what we're doing, and I want y'all to be proud of what y'all are doing. I hope y'all are proud of what y'all are doing. Like I said, give yourself credit, because I know I'm hard on myself. So I'm really giving myself credit for what I'm doing, and giving bro credit as well, for we're doing this together. So yeah, don't be so hard on yourself. Give yourself credit, and man, go after the stuff that you want. Give it a try. At least give it a try. That way you can at least say, I tried and I failed. At least I gave it a try. So that's the mindful dope of the day. I'm hungry. I want to try this sandwich. And, we're going to see y'all next season, man. Season 1 wrap up. If you haven't already, make sure you go and check out our Chef's Know It All menu so you can try some of our seasoning right here. We will have it available for purchase soon. But for right now, y'all just rock with us on the menu. You're gonna be able to try this sandwich eventually, and just keep going with us on this journey, man. And I hope we're inspiring you to go and try something that you want to try, because we're doing this off our own money, no budget. I mean, not no budget, but no sponsor, no nothing. We're doing this with just us and what we have. So thank y'all for following us on this journey, and keep rocking with us, man. Edible Dope, Chefs Know It All. We out here.